Hey everyone, Rascal Erasmus here. Today we're going to talk about my first impressions of the Echo Weaver demo. Echo Weaver is a self-dubbed Metroidvania, which is to say it's a Metroidvania but with puzzle solving. I'd say the game definitely has potential for some more interesting puzzle solving down the line, but I did not see much of it in the demo, but I do see the foundations of something that could be quite interesting here. I'm somebody that really likes Metroidvanias in general. I really like platformers and I really like progression, and Metroidvania is just a good mix of this because you have both this constant influx of new upgrades, unlocking new things, being able to go to new places, and the platforming, and I like that combination a lot. So this game is in general right up my alley. I also really like puzzle solving, so I'm really hoping that at full release this game will have some very intense puzzles to solve. What makes Echo Weaver stand out is its time loop mechanic, which the game is essentially centered around. Each round in Echo Weaver starts with you having, I believe, 3 minutes of time, and once this timer expires, the round will reset. You can extend this timer by picking up these weird blue, like jelly egg sacks type of things on the ground. I don't really know what they are, but they extend your timer by, I believe, a minute every time you find one. So I never really felt pressed for time except in very specific circumstances, so it didn't feel bad to play with this timer, like it wasn't very stressful. What's interesting about this timer is that time is also treated as a currency, like essentially you will several times in the game encounter doors that you can't open without first paying some of your remaining time to open them. I encountered several doors that took 3 minutes of my time to open, which is essentially the time I started with. So to open these doors, I actually had to go out and acquire more time than I had to begin with to be able to open the door without instantly losing the round. If you get stuck at some point or are done with the round, you can also instantly forfeit your time and restart the round. So I thought this was a pretty interesting mechanic. Echo Weaver takes place in this dystopian, last remnants of civilization. Everything is ruined, everyone is dead, you're the last of your kind, and your job is to stop whatever has caused this to happen, I assume. I'm not quite clear on the story front, but I assume it's something like that. It's at least insinuated that you can possibly do something about this. I really like the controls in the game. I think the platforming was super smooth. It felt really good to play. I played the game with a controller. Did not actually try keyboard and mouse, but I assumed that would be fine too. But the game did recommend controller, so I just went with that. The movement kit in the game is fairly standard. I started with a double jump and a dash. You could use this dash in the air too, which was really nice. A slide to slide under things, and it just felt very smooth. I really liked it. In typical Metroidvania style, the game also had all these permanent upgrades you could unlock. These upgrades were primarily you could find stuff once you found enough of a certain set of bones, I believe. You'd increase your health permanently. Similarly, you could find items out in the world that would permanently increase your timer at the start of new rounds, which I thought was a very cool thing to add to it, so eventually you'll grow this timer. Also, your map progress stays between rounds, so I like that a lot. I hate having to redo the same map exploration and just getting lost. So I like this, and then a lot of progress is essentially unlocking shortcuts. In the demo, I found a code for an elevator, which once I'd activated the elevator, I could then be using this elevator in subsequent runs too. Also in the demo, I unlocked a glaive, which was my only option for attacking. Initially, I couldn't attack at all, but this glaive essentially had a long throw and a short boomerang-like throw. And I would essentially, throughout the demo, develop my abilities with this glaive. Pretty early on, I learned that I could re-summon the glaive to me, which meant that even though when I started a round I didn't have the glaive on me, I could immediately summon the glaive over to me. Later on, pretty late in the demo, I actually learned that from certain points in the map you could teleport yourself to the glaive instead of teleporting the glaive to you. And this ended up being an important part of the demo's puzzle solving for the major puzzle. As you might have guessed, the puzzle solving of Echo Weaver is heavily centered around this time loop mechanic. Essentially, the major puzzle of the demo is that you have to get through a door that will close exactly 10 seconds after the loop starts. I think it's possibly possible to get all the way over and run through this door in the 10 seconds, but it would be very difficult and take a lot of practice. So the way I ended up getting around this, which is presumably also the way you're supposed to do it, is that at the start of the run, I would immediately teleport to my glaive. From the glaive, I could take a shortcut down to the door, throw my glaive through the door before it closed, and then I could teleport to my glaive. And I thought this was a very interesting concept. It wasn't very difficult to solve this puzzle, but it certainly shows potential for future puzzles being a lot more complex and interesting. I also really liked both the art style and the sound design of the game. I thought this was nice. Unfortunately, there's no actual set release date yet. I'm hoping this one releases soon because I kind of want to play more right now. The main things I want to call out here is I really like the smoothness of the game. I really like the progression mechanics like I do in all Metroidvanias, generally speaking, and I thought the time loop mechanic was a unique and interesting twist for this genre. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed the videos, please drop a like, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching and have a very nice day.